Hello. Good to see everyone. Thank you for joining for this talk. I don't have too many slides, so would love to go through the material, and if anyone has any questions, happy to answer them as well. My name is Hong Kim. I'm the CTO and co-founder of Bitwise Asset Management. And Bitwise is mostly known for our regulated financial products, such as ETFs. We manage over 10 billion in assets. I've been doing it for over 8 years. But what people don't know is that we are very active in Ethereum staking and also building the technology involved in doing Ethereum staking in open source software contexts. So today, mostly we'll be talking about the technology stack and the open source software that we build and contribute for the space, and also how that architecture of staking is different from maybe what a typical home staker might do. So this is the delta between maybe an institutional version of staking, and that's the focus of the conversation. Okay. And maybe the ultimate institution in the Ethereum world is the Ethereum Foundation. And the Ethereum Foundation started staking last year. So wanted to talk about the institutional kind of architecture and institutional staking from that lens of like how the Ethereum Foundation is staking and what they stated as their reasons of their decisions, and then walking through those decisions I thought would be an interesting way of talking about institutional staking. And this was the tweet. So they said the starting portion, staking portion of this treasury, which is a landmark moment. And the next tweet is talking about the effort is being conducted with open source software options Dirk and Vouch by Attestant. Attestant is the company, Ethereum staking focused technology company that Bitwise acquired late 2024, so about a year and a half ago. It talks about Dirk and Vouch and the reasons that those decisions were made as the kind of key components. And that will be the two open source technologies that I'll focus the talk on. There was that tweet, but there was actually kind of a following accompanying blog post by the Ethereum Foundation talking about the same subject, and there was a little bit more detail, so I screenshotted the section there about the architecture decisions. And as they state there, after assessing many kind of software options, the foundation chose open source, Dirk and Vouch. And Dirk is a distributed signer. The main thing is that it is a remote distributed threshold signer, and it allows for the keys to be generated in a distributed way, and also eliminates any single point of failure and adds redundancy. We'll talk more about that. And then Vouch is a multi-node validator that allows you to configure different consensus strategies and also provides kind of security and redundancy. And this setup allowed the Ethereum Foundation to employ many clients and also have a mixture of hosting context in spread around in different geographies. So what does that mean? We'll go into a bit more detail here now. I'll talk about Vouch first because it's a little bit easier to talk about it first, and then I'll talk about Dirk. Vouch is a multi-node validator. What do we mean by that? A node you can think of as a single pair of a consensus node, a consensus client, and an execution client. So these are just examples of pairings that you could, for example, do, Lighthouse and Geth, and Nimbus and Besu, et cetera. And what it allows is that if you were not using something like Vouch and just running a node and a validator yourself, likely the setup you would have is that you would choose an execution client and a consensus client and run a specific pairing. And you would run one node. And that node is what the node that your validator would interact with to understand the state of the chain and also the state of the state machine, the execution environment as well. So your validator would engage with one specific state of the world that is informed by one specific pairing of execution and consensus client. That is in most cases, or in a kind of happy world, when there aren't any client bugs, when we aren't in any kind of extraneous situations, is good and good enough for a lot of non-institutional staking contexts. But in a context where resilience or uptime or security matters more, then what is clearly beneficial is if you can actually harness what Ethereum affords. Ethereum affords client diversity, meaning that there are many implementations of the same spec, both on the consensus and execution side. And that is one of the real strengths of Ethereum, that none of the other chains really have this to this extent. So you can actually leverage that to its full extent by actually running multiple nodes in parallel. So this structure allows you to run 4 nodes in parallel. And what that affords is that you wouldn't stop attesting, for example, or proposing a block, even if any of these clients have a bug. And client bugs in different kind of degrees of severity happen quite regularly. In a given year, maybe 2 or 3 times, there would be some bug that leads to, it might not be serious, like an inflation bug or something, but more so just something that still brings the client down. And especially around hard forks, and we're doing more hard forks these days because Ethereum is progressing in a faster upgrade cycle. And often, maybe in every other hard fork or so, there would be at least one client that has some downtime in the aftermath of a hard fork. So yeah, this type of architecture provides protection against that and is one of the ways that it's a core benefit that an architecture like Vouch allows for, and is one of the ways that an institutional setup of staking could be more robust than just the most simplistic version of it, which is running one node. And yeah, Vouch is an open source library. Anyone can use it. Actually, a lot of other institutional staking providers outside of Bitwise use Vouch. I believe something like 10 to 15% of all Ethereum blocks are proposed through Vouch run validators. So it's a meaningful part of the Ethereum consensus and block production. And yeah, it's not just something that only Bitwise use, and it's a meaningful, we consider it a meaningful responsibility and contribution that we make to the space. And every hard fork, we work with all of the client teams to make sure that the new versions of the clients work well with Vouch, and go through every kind of test net to leading up to a hard fork to make sure that the upgrade is seamless for all Vouch users. So it's an important element. One more, maybe a little bit less known, the previous benefit is a bit more obvious and clear, and everyone, I think, or people that know about Vouch knows it. This aspect is maybe a little bit less known, is that Vouch supports different types of strategies. And what do you mean by strategy? If in a world where you only have one node, consensus and client pair, then you're just attesting to whatever that is saying is true. But if you have 4 running in parallel, then you can actually decide what amount of confidence you would choose to actually attest to a block or propose a block. You can wait until there is, in this case, is looking at majority consensus. So if you're running 4, then you could say, I will wait until 4 of the consensus clients agree on what the source head and target of the chain is before I attest. And that would make the likelihood that your attestation is on the kind of the wrong side of future blockchain history to be much more reduced, and improves the overall network kind of consensus safety properties as well. So in some ways, your node is adding to the security of Ethereum, again, in a way that harnesses client diversity more meaningfully. So that's another thing that you can do. And this was also actually a meaningful part of the Ethereum Foundation's decision to use Vouch as well, I believe. Even from if you look at the announcements before, there's and Vouch, it talks about one of the main reasons as the variety of configurable strategies that can be used to protect against client diversity risks. That is mostly talking about these strategies that you can use to fully harness the client diversity's powers. So yeah, it's not what every institution thinks about, I would say. The kind of resilience or protection against client bugs, et cetera, that is a thing that is more intuitive and directly tied to consensus rewards and such. So I think a lot of institutions think about that. This aspect is a little bit more nuanced, but the foundation obviously understands the nuance. So it seems to have been an important element of their decision to use Vouch. Now that we covered Vouch, another thing to talk about is Dirk. And Dirk is a remote threshold signer. What that means, and a kind of a distributed signer, what that means is that from the beginning, there is a key ceremony, a distributed key generation event where there's never a single key that is held in one spot, and it is generated in a way that the key kind of the shards of the key is spread out across a set of machines of your choice. And this example, we're showing an example of 3 out of 5. And in this type of setup, you get both better security and redundancy at kind of the same time, because they actually are very related. Because the way the Ethereum Foundation wrote it in the blog post is about kind of eliminate single point of failure. But if you think about eliminating single point of failure, it provides both security. It eliminates single point of failure both from a key theft perspective or someone kind of a rogue actor type of perspective, and a resilience and redundancy perspective. So in this case, Vouch, the validator, the multi-node validator, will ask for signatures and to the Dirk instances that are at, let's say, different server locations or different bare metal server providers or cloud providers or home hosted instances. And it would collect 3 out of 5 signatures before attesting or proposing a block. And even if 2 of the Dirk instances were down, and down can be just literally down because the server is down, or it could even mean someone is malicious or even stole the key material, and it would still be resilient against that, both from a security perspective. One key shard wouldn't give you the ability to steal or sign signatures on the behalf of the validator, nor would one shard, one Dirk instance being down lead to attestations or block proposals or consensus duties being stopped in any way. So it removes a single point of failure in possibly the most important aspect of the validator's architecture and operations. And so this is a meaningful kind of, I think the other popular library that most people use is Web3 Signer. And in that type of context, even if, yeah, you would have kind of a single point of failure that if that instance was down, then you would have issues. So that's what Dirk is about. It's again an open source library, not something that just Bitwise uses. It's available. It's been around. Both Vouch and Dirk has been around since the inception of the Beacon chain. So been around for over 5 years. And yeah, Dirk is also something that we contribute to and maintain and think of as an important contribution that we make to the Ethereum staking community. And that's it. So yeah, a pretty simple set of slides. And this is the main way in which kind of the institutional version of Ethereum staking is different from maybe a home staking setup. Thank you. Any questions? I think we maybe have a few minutes. Any questions? You can also keep it short. All right. Okay, maybe that's it. Thank you.